going to review the session 1. This was our session 1, and notice that in our session 1 our document class was article, and these things you can ignore for now, but the main thing is it was article. It means that this each file can be a research paper. So you can write a research paper here, you can write a research paper here, because these individual files are article. But in the case of thesis or book, it should not be article, or maybe in case of book it should be like a book, because obviously there are multiple chapters in the book and also multiple chapters in the thesis. First, let's see how to download thesis. Now let's go to the thesis part. I'm not sure if other people will join or not, but we just complete the session. So you can see that this is how you can search from Google, USTC thesis latex format, or Bing, or Baidu. Baidu, I don't know, but in Bing and Google you can search like this, and you are going to have this link. It is a GitHub link, and this is the overleaf link. I have opened this link. So this GitHub link, you can click on the code. Which is going to open in temp overleaf, and maybe you can write your thesis on the overleaf, or maybe you can download from overleaf and upload on the platform, this USTC latex platform. If we click on this PDF file, we are going to have this PDF file which I have to open in here. So you can see that this is our official latex format. This is our front page in Chinese, front page in English. Then this is some content, your sign and everything. And then this is your abstract in Chinese and abstract in English. Remember that even you are writing thesis in English, you must need to write your abstract in Chinese as well. Now another thing you should notice that here it is Chinese. So technically, if we are writing the English template, English thesis, it should be in English. This is our table of content. It should also be in English, but here we can see these headings are in the Chinese. This is also in Chinese. Content is in Chinese. It's another thing, but these headings should be in English. This is everything else which we are not going to see further. We are going to directly on our template. So let's assume you have downloaded the template, and then you are going to paste here. Okay, this one, you are going to paste your link, search latex.ustc or overleaf if you are using overleaf, and then you click here and upload. In upload, you are going to upload your this is my downloaded file. I'm going to click it, and you can see it will be opened in the, here we go. But by default it has nothing. You can see it has nothing. It has nothing, and also there are some errors. So notice, first thing first, we have to select, this is our main file. So let me show you clearly. So this is our main file in the parent directory. You can see here, this is our main file. I clicked here in main file, and this main file, it has like there we had the article, but here it is written USTC thesis. We are not going to change anything until it is required. So we are not going to change this section, but still we don't have first view. So first thing first, you are going to go here, and this is our compiler. It's not translated, but in English it should be compiler. So by default it has PDF LaTeX compiler. So we are going to change here to XC LaTeX. Notice that in error it says that your compiler should be one of these. Why? Because in PDF LaTeX they don't have support for the UTF languages, or you can say the other languages. Like for example, Chinese. In this thesis we are going to use Chinese, so that's why PDF LaTeX don't support Chinese. So you need to change your compiler here, number one. Number two, this is our tech live, you can say the platform, but we are not going to change it. If you are using overleaf, it may be 2023. This one is our main file. You can say the landing file, the first file it is going to compile. So here you have to select this main file. Notice that these test files, you are going to ignore them or maybe delete them if you want. And you select here main. Okay, main. Only two changes. One, we change the compiler. Second, we change the main. Here we did not change anything, remember that. So I'm going to compile it and it will show us the it may take some time because these files are big. It's not as fast as research papers. Here, okay, here we have our uh, the same file, but still notice that it is in the Chinese. So next we have to do this is our dictionary. This is our personal dictionary. For example, you can see these are my defined terms. For example, this term I have written, but if I want to delete something, I can delete it, but which I don't want. Why I have added this one? I'm going to remove this. Okay. Then you are going to ignore these, and but if you want to change your this is your theme. If you want to change your theme, for example, I have changed my theme, so most probably you are not going to see these colors, but I have changed my theme. And then this is our font size. If you want to increase, you can see that if I select 18, it will be a bigger font. So if you want to change your font size, so I'm going to select 16. It depends on your screen size, obviously. So my screen is already big, so 14 and 16 are okay for me. So this is our this portion, okay. And here you can choose that when you create a PDF file, it should be shown in this browser or in a new browser. So I'm going to select going with the same pattern. So we are done with that. Now coming back to our this portion and also our language portion. For that, we are going to go to this file USTC thesis.cls. Remember that this is CLS file. I'm clicking here. It is open now. Now I am going to select. These are many things written here. You are not going to change anything. Never ever change anything from here. It may cause a problem for you. On line 159, here you can see here they have degree like doctor, master, and bachelor. By default it is doctor. If you are a master student, you should change it to master. Okay, let's assume you are a master student, you are going to write master here, but I am going with the PhD. Then degree type, we have different types, like for example academic and professional, two types. So I am doing with the academic, but if you are a professional degree student, you are going to write here in the default, you are going to type the professional here. Number three, language, which we need to change. We have two choices, Chinese and English. By default it is Chinese, so we are going to change English. This is our main language, and this is also our language, so I'm going to change it also to English. You can see we made these changes on 182 and 189. I'm going to save it and or recompile it. Now let's see. We have changes. We have compiled it, and you can see we have now contents in English. We have this notion, before it was in Chinese. You can here it is in Chinese. Before it was in Chinese, but we have changed it into English. So this is chapter 1, chapter 2, but obviously for the PhD student 800 to 1500, and for the master student 500 to 1000. And these are our keywords. You are going to write them in English and also in the Chinese. So this is our abstract. Again, we go to the main. There is our main. It's something time difficult to find the files. Okay. So this was our main. First we have abstract, then we have Notion, which is here. In Notion, you can discuss, you can write your notions. So let's open this file. I'm going to double click here. You can say this is a notation. Okay, I was saying notions. In notations, you can write your terminology or your formulas or something like that. For example, A present what and B present what. So let's assume we want to write a new one. So I'm going to select and Control V. So let's say I want to define W, and W is for something, okay, something, whatever, as related to, I don't know, dollar A underscore I, whatsoever. So this is how you can write again the note. But another suggestion is that when you are writing your thesis, there is an option of this one, draft. So for example, if you are writing your thesis, you are not uploading figures for now. So this is a faster option. If you select the draft here, it is going to compile faster. But the problem is it is not going to load images. So let me compile this as a draft. I compile it and it will not show me a figure here. But let's say, for example, I was writing notations. So in that case, I don't need to see figures every time. So rather than wasting my time and waiting for this compilation time, I am going to select draft, and then it would be faster to make changes. But remember that it is not going to show you figures, so don't worry. So this is how you can add your notations. If you want, you can see I have added the notation W. Now let me show you the agenda. So we spell checker. Okay, I did not tell you spell checker, I guess. So here, our by default spell checker is English American. So obviously we are going to write in English American. So this is the better idea rather than British or Canadian. So I'm going with the American. So we have discussed spell checker, compiler, font sizes, theme you can change, and dictionary, everything. Official template we have shown, content of USTC master PhD. We have told you that how to write. But obviously, I'm not going to tell you that what a chapter should have, because that's what your professor is going to tell you. If I will tell, maybe you will have the conflict with your professor that he's telling you something else and I am telling you something else. Changing language, I already tell. So now how to change the thesis title. Okay, let's go to our first page. So this is our thesis title. I am going to double click it, but notice that it is not showing me something like that. So something this can happen. So it is showing me this copyright page. If I double click here, again, it is telling me or going to show me copyright page. So this is in the USTC setup file. I'm going to click in the USTC setup file. Here you can see now. This is USTC setup.tex. No, remember that this is tex file. Now here you can write the name of the thesis, whatever is your title, and then this is your name. For example, I am going to write Ali, and I'm going to write. I am intentionally leaving it capital L. Then this is your note that it has one has static and another don't have static. Why? Because one is English and another is for Chinese. So which don't have static, it is for Chinese, and which have static, it is for English. So I'm going to compile it. It is going to show me changes here. Okay, so notice that no static is small l and static is capital L. Here we go. Okay, what about curly braces?
Curly brackets, then it will become capital. Okay.
So then you can write your obviously specialty or your major or something, your supervisor name. But if your thesis is anonymous, then you are going to write author name anonymous, then again anonymous, and your professor name also should be hidden. It depends on your major in computer science. They expect the anonymous. There is nothing. Another thing special here is that if you want to add packages, then you can add packages here. So for example, let's say we want to add the URL package. So only this file can have the packages. You cannot change packages in the other files. This is our graphics path. I hope in previous session we mentioned that if you want to set your graphics path, then you can set. So here you are going to set your graphics path, and this is in the figures. So we have seen our title page. We also have seen our how to change it into English. Now let's discuss the structure of this thesis. This project. So this is bib file. It has this USTC.bib, and it is explained in the main file. If I go to main, here you can see this is bib/USTC. So this is our bib text file. So if you want to add some citations, you can add citations here and then refer them. I hope you already know that. Then we have this chapters folder. In chapter folder, you are going to place your chapters. you should place your chapters inside the chapter folder. I am going to show you a better practice which I follow, but for now let's focus on this one. Then we have the figures. So these are our current figures. I prefer that I create folders here. Okay, this is file and this is, I prefer that I create folder like this is chapter 1, and then you can create maybe folder for each chapter. In this way, I am going to place my chapter 1 figure here, chapter 2 figures here, and it will be easy to manage in the future rather than putting everything in the same, like, for example, my thesis have 20 or 30, let's say, figures. So it will be a very long list, for example, if you want to replace a file or delete a file or something like that. So it is better you have this kind of structure here. Now, this test folder is not required. For example, if you use the overleaf template, it don't even have this test folder. And other files, we have main file, which we already discussed. It have our chapters. I'm going to tell you that how to add chapters later. Then we have this USTC setup, which is our front page. And third file, we said that if you want to change, this is our USTC thesis.cls, in which we change the languages. This file also have some content, but I don't think so we need to mess with that, although this is in the text. Until unless you are expert of latex, you can explore these files. But if you are not, like me, then maybe you should not open these files. You just follow whatever is given to you. So I'm going with the main file, and let me show you the template of the citation here. Even let me show you here so we can open it. It was chapter 4. Here, this is the citation method /cite if you want to cite it as a superscript. This is how, this is the actual method. But if you want to also show your the author name, then you can cite it with cite T. But I am using this method only. I don't think so. And then if you want to add multiple, you can add like this with the comma separation. But others, I don't need to, I don't think so we are going to show like this, but I am following this pattern. But still, if your professor want you to write like this or like this, then again, it would be, you need to change some files, but I assume that you are going with this pattern. Now let's add some chapters and see how things go and what is appendix and how to add a new appendix maybe. And obviously we are not going to change these acknowledgements and publications. So let's go through creating new chapters. For that, I prefer to create files in window. I don't know if you want to create files here, you can, like you can in chapters, you can click here and create new file and maybe name it like 1, then chapter name, whatever is your chapter name, create. Okay, and then you can also maybe you can also download it here, and but let's go with like this. So this is our empty file. Now you can create another chapter, maybe file naming convention I am going to discuss. This is my suggestion. If you want to follow, you are welcome. If you don't want to follow, this is up to you. So this is our chapter 2. And then we are having again a new chapter. So why I am writing 1, 2, 3 at the start? Because now it is easy to see which is my chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. But if I don't write here, then it is difficult to find. For example, if I want to go to chapter 2 or chapter 3, I must need to remember the name. Okay, so maybe this is chapter 2 or maybe this is chapter 2. It is going to waste my time or maybe make me angry for nothing. So it is better to write chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter, and how many chapter you want to add, you can add it. The same structure I told you to add in the figures. In this case, again, if you want to change a figure, you remember, okay, this is chapter 4 figure or chapter 3 figure, you can easily make changes in your chapter. And if you want to add figure here, again, click here and upload, select from computer, and we are going with this figure maybe. Now you can see it is easy to remember and easy to manage. Okay, then you can create this structure. For example, if I am writing, I will write the first, we write the chapter name. So this is our chapter 1. So this is maybe our introduction. And then again, every chapter is going to have some section. Oh, why it is not typing? For this section. And again, we need labels for these sections. So this is label. Now my practice is that let me create a subsection and also label subsection and label. Here my practice is I will like type like this subsection, and then I put the colon here. This is section, so I put the colon here. But let's say I have a table somewhere, so for the table I will write my label, then tab colon, and then further let's copy it, and let's assume we have multiple sections, and we will go like this. Now I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to paste in these newly created chapters. Now remember that the name should be different. For example, this is section and this is also section. Here this is section. It's not right. So I write like this C1. So now I will remember this is section, and it is in the chapter 1, and this is section and chapter 2. Now next, let's say it is background. So here my practice is I am going to write it like this. So now it is easy to remember. Let's say this is our literature previous work. It's easy to remember the spelling of previous work. Then again, I'm going to follow the same convention, but there would be no space here. So you cannot have spaces, or you want to, then you can add the underscore. So in this way, I remember that. So this is chapter 1, not 2. So this is my chapter 1 background. This is my chapter 1 previous work. Let's say again, I'm going to add the same things in the chapter 2 maybe. So in that case, I will just add chapter 2 here. So now it is very clear to me from the only label that like I'm going to write here something I mentioned in section. For example, I know I wrote something in previous work, but I don't remember what was the reference, which actually I remember. Why? Because I followed the good convention. So section, and then I know, okay, this is section 2 background. I said something, maybe section 1 background. Easy to remember for me. So this, I think with this method, it is easy to write thesis rather than remembering everything, and you don't need to remember anything in this case. So this convention, and again you can follow the same with the subsection. Maybe this is something, I don't know, and here you are again, you can write the C2 and something. Obviously everything will not be same because different chapter have different kind of structure and different kind of things, but this is my convention to write the labels. And as in the table I was telling you, in the table I will do like this. So this is again table in chapter 1, and some name or whatever the name of your table, but we don't have so it is going to show error, so I'm going to comment it. But if I compile it, do you think I am going to see anything? No. Why? Let's see. Like, see, this is our table of contents. Are we going to see any change here? Obviously not. Because why? Because we have not added those chapters in our main file. Where is our main file? Our main file. So here I am going to remove this, maybe, no, let's not remove, but just add. So I'm going to copy it and paste it. And our chapter 1, see, easy to remember, 1 chap and .tes. Easy to remember. Then again, input chapters and 2 chap. Okay. Now, if we compile it, it is going to show us. I'm not going to add the chapter 3 for now, but obviously this is the method to add chapters. If I compile here, you are going to see the chapter 1 and chapter 2 will be here, our new chapters, which I don't think so. Yeah, same name. Introduction, background, previous work, introduction, background, previous work, and something. So this is how you add the table of content. These table of content, we did not write anything, so still it is showing number. And you can see it is hyperlink. So if I click it, it will land me here. This, you remember we mentioned something that something I mentioned in section 1.1. I click here, it will land me here. So this is how you add chapters. Now let's say if you want to add appendix. So let's go to appendix first. Appendices, I hope you guys know appendix. Appendix is something which you don't want to write in your chapter, in your thesis, but maybe your hyperparameter setting or maybe something, some tables you are going to show in mention in many places. So rather than adding in a specific chapter, you can add them in the appendix. So currently it has only one appendix. You can see it's chapters complementary, but let's say I want to add another one. So I am adding chapter 3 as appendix here. So in that case we say 3, okay. And let's compile it. It will create B here. So this appendix A, and there is no B here. So it is going to show you appendix B. Okay, it's draft, still taking time. You can see that now we have appendix B. Again, if you add tables here, their table convention will be like B something. So the table name will be B something like that, and here A something like that. But and the other things are same, like sections. You can say that same code I copy pasted here in like in chapter 1 and chapter 2. So sections are automatically named with B. We don't need to write B here or A here in this case. And then acknowledgements, if you obviously we don't want to add an extra acknowledgement. We just if you want to change something in acknowledgement, you can just write your own content in English. And in publication, you can also change in English, but I did not change them because obviously Chinese professors are going to read them, so I put them in Chinese. So this is for your journals published work, this is for the pending, and this is for the conferences. Again, if you are sending your thesis anonymous, so it is not good idea to write your names here. And also, for example, in acknowledgements, you should hide the acknowledgement. So you should just write that I will write acknowledgement after my thesis is accepted or something like that. Now, what else we have? Do we have anything else? Let me see the file. Table of contents, list of figures, list of tables. Oh, list of tables and list of figures. We did not see that. Here, you can see there. Here, this is the main file. Remember that, and you can write your thesis name here. And my another convention is that I write like maybe today is 6 Jan and this is my V2. I keep creating the copies because sometimes you make big changes and you remember, oh no, I had something in that section, how to do that, how to get that. So I keep creating copies. For example, I am writing here, maybe after 4 or 5 hours, I write again, then I will download this copy and I will write it as version 3. So, but if I write tomorrow, I will add it, then I will just name it to 7 and again V1. So it is easy for me to remember that which changes maybe can be found in which kind of version. This is how I control variance. Second, I was going to tell you that how to add list of figures. So for example, if you notice here, our thesis have figures like this one is a figure, okay? But we don't have list of figures and list of tables here. You can see here, we have chapter, then table of contents, and then abstract. So if you want to show the list of figures and list of tables, you just uncomment them. And now just recompile it. It is going to show us list of tables and list of figures here. Should be okay. This is loaded now. It should be abstract contents. This is our list of figures, and this is our list of tables. So it is also clickable. If I click here, it will be. This is our page number. Automatically manage. I don't need to remember anything. And obviously, it's clear that it is table 4.1, so it's in chapter 4, and this is also figure 4.1. Also in chapter 4. I have told you how to create new chapters, how to manage them as per my understanding, templates, table of contents, acknowledgements, manage publication. Okay, anything else? If you want to ask, you can ask in the messages. You can ask in the chat. I think I have explained everything. You just the good thing about this template is you just have to write your thesis. You don't really need to remember everything. So, for example, if you know how to, if you are confused how to create table, simple copy paste this table from here, okay, and just copy it. And maybe if you want to add in your chapter, which we created, where our chapter, huh? I think this is a different format. Making changes. Where is my template which as well making changes? Oh, I keep editing the two different files. So, um, I forget that which file I was actually making changes. Come on, I have created chapters here. Where are my chapters? Maybe I think I because I have this is my chapter. Did I create a chapter in wrong place or what? Why there are no chapters? Here are, I don't know if there was some error or something. Okay, so for example, this is my chapter and I want to add table here, Control V. So this is my table, but remember that you need to change this label of your table. Where is label? Here, this. So because we already have, so here it is C1. So let's compile it and we are going to see table here. Now, because you already have the templates of your figures and also your tables, you just copy paste and make, see, you just change this data. And if you want to create, for example, multiple rows, I hope you remember from the previous lecture. So you can, I'm not going to do that, but no, actually let's do that. So you can add new row here. So we new column, we already have added new column here. So this is how you can make changes. Now it should have already updated our list of tables. So we have now, this is our new column, and in table of content we have two tables now. List of tables, we have two tables. Again, if you are going to add figures, we are going to have the list of figures. Anything else? If you want to ask something, please send a message. We have some time. So if we want, paper. No, any question? I hope you guys understand. From my side, I think how to manage. You don't need to manage any page number on anything. It is already mentioned. It is already designed in the structure. Like for example, you can see that your page 1 should start from your chapter 1 here. You don't, and this is the convention followed, that your list of tables and your list of figures and these things should not be included in your, you can say, in your thesis pages. Your thesis pages start from the introduction. And for number, oh yes, another good feature, it has this number of word count. This is word count. It's in Chinese, but remember that this has word count option. I think this one. Yes, see, this has word count option. So you have 2164 words, and these are in the table of content and equations. So this is math equations. So you can also see how many words you have written from here. But because I am using this as a private browser, so it's not translating, but I know how to translate things. I think you know how to translate things. And also remember that you don't remove h from here when you're writing tables. Don't make changes on your own until it is required. So for example, you don't need to change anything here until you require, which actually you don't require. Anything else? So we have list of tables. So I think I have explained the major structure as far as my understanding. Other things, as per my experience, you don't really need to change because everything is predefined. This is the basic benefit of using latex. Everything is predefined and you just have to write. You don't need to remember things.